Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie. How are you all? Are you having a wonderful Tuesday? And if you are, it hopefully will get even better when we start doing this card. The Lovely Cups family, that's what we're studying at the moment. So I'm going to show you the link to join, should I say. I'll pop that on and I'll copy and paste it. And if anyone wants to come on and share anything you want to about tarot and your journey with tarot, feel free to do so in this tutorial, the Nine of Cups. So let's jump in and show you the link. So there was the link, and I've posted it on all of the platforms that we're going out onto. Don't be a stranger, just do say hello. So Nine of Cups, wow. So on the screen for you, I've already put some keywords. Nine of Cups is about happiness. We did a big tutorial on Thursday all about this card. It's about wishes, it's fulfilling your wishes, and it's looking a little bit further beyond what we sometimes feel is perfect. We go, why not try a little bit more and go a little bit deeper in search of what we are looking for ourselves. Happiness. So happiness, I'll put that on the right hand side for the Nine of Cups. And if we were to use a pair, if you don't know my method, folks, do feel free to look at any of the tutorials. You'll find tarot twists explaining, as we do every Tuesday, how to combine cards. And the way in which I do it is to put a major arcana next to a minor arcana. Why? Major arcana will tell you what's going on. Minor arcana is telling you the background of facts. And for every time when you are reading one of those things, I'm going to put my messages on silent. Bear with me. Customers coming in, sorry about that. Someone that actually watched last week, she messaged me. Hi Sarah, hope you're well. I'll look at that message later. So what do? Major arcana card is telling you what's going on. Minor arcana card is showing you the background of facts, as I said. More importantly, when you do a reading, always put a pair out in each position. That's the method that I teach. You can go look at my courses anytime that you wish to. You'll find them on tarotwithanmarie.com. I'm revamping them at the moment, so until they're actually all up and running, I would ask you to be patient. And yeah, if you've got the old courses, they'll automatically update to the new ones. No extra charge, of course, all part of an update. So, the Chariot, so many different meanings, of course, but in the fourth house, it means our home life. And so if this pair came up, we'd be looking at the fact that we are looking at our happiness in our home. And it certainly feels as if we look at that pair, we could actually say home looks as if it's a happy place, domestic bliss, that kind of thing. Another word for a Nine of Cups is emotional fulfillment. So it's feeling fulfilled in your emotional capacity as a person within your domestic life. So it's all to do with the major card telling you where it actually is happening in that person's life. So let me show you another example. Let me get rid of that one. Okay, and I'll save that till later. Everybody likes the Hierophant, don't they? I know you do. You tell me. So that's marvellous. High Priestess, look at that one. So there's many keywords for the High Priestess, of course, but to keep things simple, we go deep on Thursdays, but on Tuesdays we try and keep it really simple. I can't choose every keyword going for the major arcana cards. We've already done those tutorials. We're now studying what the minor arcana means, and we're in the suit of cups, the happiest suit. So what does the High Priestess mean? We've picked the word future. So why? Okay, she's psychic, she's intuitive. What does it mean if you actually just get that card on its own? You know, something's going to be revealed to you in the future. Yeah, probably. Because that's what gut feelings and psychic things are. It's things that you feel, or you are intuitive of, or there is some sixth sense, gut feeling, call it what you want to. There's a knowing about something in the future. And here we've been shown that what this person knows in the future, or has coming for them in their fate or their destiny, whichever word you want to actually choose or use, they have emotional fulfillment. So emotional fulfillment, how wonderful is that? You know, this is saying that in their future position, they will be emotionally fulfilled. We could choose to take emotional fulfillment away. And of course, earlier on, I showed you happiness. Or it can actually mean contentment. Or we could look at it that we are in a place of satisfaction. So the future would be happiness, emotional fulfillment, satisfaction, or even, let's take that one away, it's rather delayed, sorry, wish fulfillment. So something that this person has been trying to emotionally bring into their world, they want this in their future, and they're connected with it. There's a knowingness. But if this came up in a reading, how would you read it? Well, you just simply say your future looks as if your wishes are going to be fulfilled. Let's change it to another card. Bear with me for 1 second. Just locking my screen there. Okay, so we'll take down a High Priestess, and let's look at the Magician. Okay, so if we've got the Magician, I chose this word manifestation. So if somebody is actually looking to manifest something, you'd be able to tell them by the second card, i.e. the Nine of Cups, which is what we're studying, that their wishes are going to be fulfilled through manifestation. Or we could look at it that the Nine of Cups is telling us manifestation is going to bring emotional satisfaction. Why emotional? The Cups family is all about the emotions. It's the water element, and that relates to Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But it doesn't mean that we're only reading for Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio. It doesn't mean that at all, because the Cups family is talking about our emotions. When we come to dealing with the court cards, that's when the astrological signs will really kick in with the minor arcana. If you are not sure what I'm talking about, go back over the previous tutorials. You will be able to see, especially in the major arcana, in the tutorials, I really do touch upon the astrological sign. And that's just a touch. If you go into the courses, wow, you can continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. The courses are very different. I just want to explain to you. If you want to go simple and easy and softly and just curious and just want to up your game a little, there are courses for that, all right? And they would be studying maybe Major Arcana, studying maybe the Suit of Cups like we are, and leaving it at that until you feel ready to go and look at some of the others. So you can deal with them as in individually. There's no point me giving you 78 cards and telling you to memorize it. It won't work, okay? You need to be able to connect to it in some way, but you need the tutorial to keep going back to it and seeing, why did they say that? How come that happens? Passionate Saji is one of our viewers and moderated for me here. I'm very grateful to her for that on my channel. And she's often asking, you know something, I really would like to know I know it's linked to this. I know, I think a typical example was the hermit. She said, I know it's the past, but it means nothing to me. I don't know why. So we went into a few different reasons as to why it does connect with the past and how you might remember that and how it might mean something to the reader in order to be able to connect with that card. So it's not about memorizing. People say there's all sorts of tricks. You really do have to study. There's no two ways about it. If you want to be an intuitive reader, that's fine. But you probably won't be able to get long readings or paid work just on intuition. They'll be short and sweet, and that's fine if that's what you want. But if you want to go deeper and just keep exploring, keep going through the courses, because then we've got intermediate level and then we've got advanced level. And that is what I was always asked for. You know, I can only get this far. People teach you the cards and you go, well, I don't know if they taught me right. I think I know what they taught me, but what if someone else is teaching something else? This is your chance on this channel to explore that. Okay, so I hope that helps. So manifestation will bring great satisfaction, and that's of the emotional nature. So you would know that. It's like, oh, is it something I'm thinking? Yes, in this case, because of the magician. The magician has got the 4 suits or elements on the table. So we've got the wand, which, let's start with the sword. The sword's on the table, thoughts. The cups on the table represents emotions. The wand on the table represents action. And the pentacle represents the materialization of something that's a product, something that's tangible. Don't always think it's money. It's easy to think that the symbol looks like money, but it's actually much more than that. If you go in the courses, you'll learn all about what the pentacle really means and why, and all the symbology of that, which I can't do that here. Okay. Hello. Hi, how are you doing? Thank you very much. Okay, so we do have the fact that, yes, this could be what somebody is manifesting with their thoughts, manifesting with their emotions, absolutely, because we're getting that from the magician, but of course we're getting it from the 9 of Cups, and that's bringing emotional satisfaction. And we are also getting actionable. So actions coming from the magician. Not all major cards are like the magician. The magician is exceptional because it's all the elements, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, not just the intentions, and the productivity of that actually happening. Oh, you're very, very sweet. Thank you very much. I like when people say hi. How are you doing? Really nice to meet you. Thank you. So, are you learning tarot, Kamala? I hope so. And I hope that it brings you as much joy and fun as the people that I've taught and myself. I've really always enjoyed it. It's a bit like putting the pieces of a puzzle together forensically to be able to understand. And it's understanding. I think that's what people want to learn tarot for. Many, many reasons, of course. You might want it as a business, in which case you need to be able to hold readings for a length of time to be able to do that. And that's what I've got over a decade of experience of managing psychics, mediums, clairvoyants, etc. So yeah, I know. And it's been able to be supported in the way that you need it to be. Right, okay. Let's move that on the right and say, okay, we could be manifesting wish fulfillment, like we said, satisfaction, or we could be manifesting emotional contentment. Okay, so it's that. And then we've got the fact that we could be looking at making sure that we've manifested emotional fulfillment also, which of course leads to that wonderful point of our happiness, and our happiness is realized through our own actions. Right, let me take that one away. Let's move. We're always moving in the tutorial. The card on the left, which is the Major Arcana, because we are studying the 9 of Cups and how it can change by moving in major arcana. So if we get the Empress, and we know that the Nine of Cups can mean happiness, or we know that it can mean emotional fulfillment. If we get the Empress, there's a lot of words it can actually mean, of course, but I had to pick one, and I couldn't go writing on and on and on forever. It's just to help you, and as I said, I wanted to keep it nice and simple for you. The Empress is about nurture, and when we nurture ourselves, we grow. We need to feel value in our life. So it's about that kind of gentleness where we are growing and we are nurturing that growth with an abundance of things that are healthy. Look at the Empress, you can see that. All right, so working on the fact that if you got this as a power, and we're using the word growth, and this came up as somebody asking you, do you know what, am I going to be happy? Can you have a look for me? I've been a bit down recently. And you look at that and you go, wow, there's so much growth. Emotionally, it's a very fulfilling time. But it would also show that the Empress, of course, is somebody that's manifested that simply by she's valued herself enough. Maybe she's got emotional boundaries, so she knows what she doesn't want as well as what she does want, which is so important, so important, okay? So we are looking at the fact that that card would bring about emotional growth, but we also want to look at the fact that the emotional fulfillment will, of course, allow for growth within happiness if we've got this card. So it's understanding the many meanings. I'm just trying to keep it really simple so you get used to being able to go, card on the left is telling you subject, what area in their lives, what's happening to them. You know, everything has a beginning, like the Fool. Everything has a middle, and that can be where we start to build things, or we start to dismantle things, or we start to struggle, or we start to make progress, of course. And then eventually we end up with good old completion, right? So along the way, how does it affect us? Well, in this case, all that growth and everything that this person's been doing is emotionally fulfilling. So it's buying them great happiness. And it can also bring complete contentment, right? So let's get rid of the Empress, keeping, of course, the Nine of Cups. So what about this one? The daddy of the tarot, the boss man, Mr. Emperor. But for the sake of our tutorial, I chose the word, of course there are plenty, ambition. So will I be happy in my work? Yeah. Nine of Cups, absolutely. You'll be very contented. And, I want to be my own boss. Is it going to happen? This is a card of wish fulfillment, you see? So the Emperor is a card that means the daddy, the boss, being in control. Will I lose weight? That's a good one. Your ambitions will bring you the happiness, okay? You're wanting it, so you'll probably do it because you're in control. You're ambitious enough to make it happen. Will I own my own business? Yes, and it will lead to a lot of emotional satisfaction. Just some, any sort of questions that I'm actually sort of giving you an idea of what can get asked. And of course it's always relationships, but as I say, I would prefer to be giving you the broader terms that people come to for readings. Not everything is about relationships when somebody comes for a reading, and it depends what kind of readings you give. For example, if you're reading at psychic fairs, or you're reading at shows such as Mind, Body and Spirit, Olympia, London, of which many years of being there, yes, I have. What's that all about? It's about people that are looking to see what their spiritual development's like, and how they can enhance that, and how they can grow, just like I showed you with the Empress card. people that are in business there, connecting with other like-minded people, people that are probably going through some sort of transformation and want to learn more, are curious, maybe right at the beginning of their journey, or a bit like, you will get lots of people that will go there because they're looking for an astrologer, they're looking for a tarot reader, they're looking for a medium, they're looking for a psychic, and they are very specific about what they want. When it comes to sort of social media sort of type videos that we all see for social media, it's easy to do a quick video, short, vertical video, whatever you want to call it, that is trending in love and romance, which of course is incredibly popular and was on the psychic lines when I was on them, and still is. I'm on my own now. I'm not responsible for 250 people anymore, and hard enough to actually turn around and create a business, then to make sure that all of my readers were in a good place, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and in a healthy place, and to make sure that they were looked after, because obviously sometimes clients have a lot of difficult questions, and we're not always feeling as if we can be the one that may have chosen us incorrectly. Maybe they need something other than a tarot reader, a psychic, or a medium. Maybe it's professional help of different ways, of which I'm not going to mention. You can imagine. Okay, so it's about being able to simplify things so you feel that you're growing in your tarot, and you feel that you can read for yourself. And the biggest questions ever, and of course, how many readers did I read for that were either on different platforms or working on my platform? I can't read for myself. If you use this method, you can, because you're able to be very impartial in your reading, because it's a bit of a map. Of course, you could read it however you want. It depends how you phrase your question. But you can read for yourself if you're sensible enough to say, okay, is my self-employed business going to work? And you get this. Yeah, you really want it to. You're going to put the effort in, and you'll go beyond, absolutely beyond what is needed in order for it to succeed. Right, what else do we have? Let's change the Emperor, and let's change it up. Let's do this one. Okay, so card 21, we are looking obviously at the world, and the world is many, many things, but usually it's completing a cycle in one's life that brings about, and if we've got a Nine of Cups there, emotional satisfaction. Can you see that if that was actually a sword, it would not be the same thing at all? Number one, so it's Ace of Swords, it would be new ideas to do with completion, but it would be a double-edged sword, like the Ace of Swords, telling us it's about what we're thinking, it's about what we're communicating, it's how we're growing. But when you've actually got that second card, if you'd like, it's a clarification card. I've seen people do that with oracle cards, etc. But an oracle card, they're not deep enough sometimes, and oracle cards, I had a lot of readers, whether they were clairvoyant, psychic, or style, medium, whatever, that worked tarot card readers. And quite often they would get oracle cards out. I can tell you that they were not able to hold a call and give a reading for much more than 4 or 5 minutes, because they were telling somebody, like reading it out loud, like, a Janet and John book. And we gave them a chance, we gave them training, but if they insisted upon keep using oracle cards, they didn't actually grow. They couldn't actually give the customer perhaps what the customer was seeking, which is some in-depth answers as to, am I going to complete my exams, more importantly, will it make me happy? Wow, this answers that question, doesn't it? Completion of what they're telling you. And again, do not be afraid to ask the client specifically, what is your question, in which area? As I've said before, they will say to you, well, you should know you're the psychic. No, we're not mind readers. We're not there to do that. We are there to answer somebody's spiritual journey and interpret what the cards are saying based on the current situation, the background effects, and where things lay at the moment, and what would be the likelihood of happening if they were to remain with everything intact as things stand. But sometimes people say, oh, I just want a psychic reading. Psychics will, and I have trained in that area, psychics will and do wonderful jobs, but you will probably find, and I've done this a very long time, that the depth that you will get out of mediumship or, shall we say, somebody who is clairvoyant, clairaudient, they may be able to give you certain things that don't help you to answer or solve things that you are asking about, and more to do with, most mediums will tell you about your loved ones that have passed, or something of a little idea, oh, they're telling me this, they're telling me that. They won't turn around and say, a bit like tarot cards will if you know how to read them, okay, in the area of work, you are going to complete and it will be great satisfaction. You know, what about my relationships, okay? You will actually get to the point where you will get a relationship. The World card is there, it's telling you it's going to happen, and it's saying it's emotionally satisfying because we've got the Nine of Cups. It'd be a different story if we've got the Five of Cups, which would be completion and disappointment. So you'd know, completion, disappointment, put them together, sounds like this ain't going to work. You see? It's how you are putting it together. So your second card is giving you everything you need to know. And it will tell you which area of their life. In this case, it's about their emotions, but also in spreads. There is the emotional component. And of course, we are looking at the current situation rather than in a past situation. That's all I can do in a tutorial. I can't go into great areas. But let's say this came up in finance. People ask about finance, and they're saying, oh, am I going to be all right financially? Oh, it's been really tough, and I'm starting to really kind of worry. And it's like, look, you've completed a cycle to great satisfaction, but there's nothing there that would really turn around and tell us whether that person is going into action or whether they're investing in finances. And I would say we'd be looking at sort of pentacles for that. Emotional satisfaction, yes, but that's not the same as financially stability in a secure and stable position within the reading. You would need to be able to do my method for that, to be able to look at their finances, other people's finances, and the influences of work. And is this coming in from work, or is this coming in from something that's lucky? People win things, don't they? Or money not earned. And you'd be able to sort of look at that and see where that is. And so that you are really genuine and honest about saying, look, I see this coming from a legal situation, which will probably tell you some sort of inheritance or something like that. But you need to know your cards to start with, and then you can really start enjoying the positions and what it is it's telling you. Okay, right, so I'm going to put some keywords on the screen for you now. Okay, so let's change this card for this one. The moon. All right, so with the moon, this is a card of many keywords, of course, but I'm just showing you the keywords that came up there with the Nine of Cups. Only a few, there are hundreds, and if you do the tutorials, I don't go on about the depth of tarot and the history of that. I go straight into all the symbology, what the figure is doing, why there are certain things in cards, such as the colour of the floor, colour of his shoes, what he's sitting on, what his hat is, all that kind of thing. I touch on it briefly here on YouTube, but all of that will help you understand what that card's telling you. And it's really important to know your elements. If you know your elements, you can tell whether somebody is thinking, feeling, doing, or acting, or whether it's actually become something of a tangible or viable product. Yeah? Always, always, always important. What we're thinking doesn't always manifest. What we're feeling doesn't always manifest. What we're doing, we can work really hard. Doesn't mean we'll succeed. We might succeed in the work, but we may not get the results that we're actually looking to get. All right, so what's this power mean? Let's say somebody's turning around and saying, I have been thinking, I'm looking at wanting to change what I'm doing. I want to change career, not job, career. All right, difference. So changing their job is going to do the same thing for a different company. Changing their career is somebody who is probably a doctor or someone who, let's say, has been in the educational field, like a nursery nurse or a teacher or I don't know, teacher support assistant, all different names these days. Whatever. I'm just using any example, or a car mechanic, or builder, or an architect, or somebody that has made cakes, that's in the cottage industry at home. I'm not trying to make out it's fantastic. I'm just saying they're going to change that, and they say, I'm thinking, you know what, I really fancy trying my luck at going into art. And the art side of things is something that I'd really like to explore. And so let's say that this person is saying, what do you think if I was to actually eventually want to give up my day job? I mean, obviously I can't do it because I've not made a start yet, but could it lead to my happiness by using my creativity in the field of art? And it's there, isn't it? A person, if they use their imagination, it would lead to great happiness. If that person is wanting to write books, it will lead to great happiness because their imagination is providing happiness for them and for other people. So these are the kind of things that people come at you for. You know, they are looking for red flags to tell them no. They're looking to see if they're on the right path. Should they waste their time? It's tiresome, it's frustrating, they're not getting what they want out of that. Who knows? Any of those things can be a good enough reason to actually want to read it and to see really what's going on. You know, should I move to another country? Would I be better off? Yeah, use your imagination there, and happiness is fulfilling. The moon card, of course, is a card of many things. Illusions, delusions, and of course talking about the moon, full moon there in Aquarius, which links to anything that's to do with our social circles, our politics, our friends, our network, social media, anything that connects to a group of people that we would say is a network within, like a neighborhood or a community or a group, or politics, that kind of thing. That's really what Aquarius is linked to. So a full moon in that would be saying, okay, what is it that you would like to change in those areas of your life? I just mentioned that because we've got the moon card there. All right, so the moon card could also mean, of course, you know, I'm fearful that I won't be happy, or I worry. The moon card's always, if that comes up, we're always imagining fears and things that may or may not happen. Some of it justly so, forewarned, forearmed, of course. Okay, right, I want to remind you all that I do have a podcast. So Tuesday's podcast, that's where you look and you can see the playlist there, which I call Tarot Twist, because we twist it every week with a different card, with the card that we're studying. All right, so there is an example of the playlist, and that's where you can find it on Tarot with Anne-Marie, which is my YouTube channel. For those of you that are not watching on YouTube right now, I know that some of you are on Twitch and some of you are on Facebook pages. Thank you so much. Do remember, you're welcome to say hello. Right, we've done the Emperor. Let's do this one. So Justice card again. People go, gosh, what's that got to do? It looks like, legal. It can. Of course it can be that. But it's also, partnerships. And all sorts of partnerships. So, kind of partnership of, I want to go into business with my best friend, and you get this power. Emotional fulfillment out of that partnership. It'll be satisfactory. Told you that one as, let's change that. And so, yeah, partnerships will bring great satisfaction with how you phrase the question. Yeah, but will it make me happy? Looks like it. Yeah. And, okay, but will we actually make it happen? Completion there, as in, sorry, I didn't mean to press that one. I want to press contentment, which is this one. Okay, so yeah, partnerships will bring contentment, happiness, emotional fulfillment, and of course, satisfaction. So that's what that card can mean. But it doesn't just mean legal. And somebody said, oh, it is a legal situation. Be very, very, very careful, because you are not there to predict the outcome of legal situations. And people say, oh, well, that's what they paid me for. Offer to read for them on another question of their choice, or give them the money back. Easiest way. Yeah? I know you're serious, isn't it? Sorry, absolutely not. Most readers these days are pretty clued up about that one and just say, no pregnancy questions, no legal questions. But sometimes people say, oh gosh, I'm really, really worried. Am I going to have a fine? And it looks here as if it was a situation where you got a 9 of Cups there, satisfactory conclusion. That's what you can say. The cards are advising now. Can't give you any more information. Can't be kind in your, I'm not going any further with that. Take this with a pinch of salt. I am not here to give you legal advice. You go to the correct professional people for that. That's not what a tarot reader is doing. But if that person is upset, let her have a quick look at your well-being for you. Yeah, any situation like that would be more to do, and I would say that. So I've got a legal card here, but it really is more about partnerships. So maybe the person that's dealing with this for you is the right person. They'll be very satisfactory. The person you pick professionally. That's how I'd answer it, because that's what that means. Yeah? Okay, so we have got, what's next? Any questions, anybody? Does anybody want to, should have took that off before I changed that to that card. Right, because I was asking, has anybody got any questions? So the Death card of what? Transformation. So if somebody, like I said, at one of the big shows like Olympia or My Body and Spirit Camden or Excel Centre in London, some of the big ones up north, Manchester, Liverpool, all those kind of places, Sheffield, you name them, there are plenty about. And when people go to those big spiritual places, they're huge. You've got thousands of people walking through the door, and a lot of them are probably there because they have been through or are going through some transformation in their life, and they are looking to see whether they're on the right path. How does that work? Sometimes they're drawn to something to begin with, shall we say, maybe runes, maybe crystals, maybe music, you know, a lot of spiritual music that's relaxing, or visualization techniques, or hypnosis. You know, most people, when they are actually on their spiritual quest, do actually look at everything. You know, the I Ching, Reiki, spiritual healing, so many, too many to mention. But the usual ones: oracle cards, angel cards, looking at numerology, delving into maybe past lives, regressions, shadow work, all this kind of thing. And so that's a lot. So why am I telling you that? Because if they're going through a spiritual transformation, they may feel that they should be looking at this whole lot. Maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. A reading would perhaps help them. But what they do want to do is work out what's best for them and what's actually going to give them the most emotional satisfaction in their transformation, if this comes up, and whether or not it's going to make them happy. You know, believe it or not, a lot of people do go on a spiritual quest. They're not particularly happy. They're feeling driven to do so by, usually a transformation is because something in our life has changed drastically and we've had to make a big old choice. And so we go looking for the answers. And sometimes those answers are not as clear, or they start to be clear and then they become as clear as mud. And you know, we kind of go, oh, am I going down a wrong path here? You know, I always wanted to do astrology, but I knew, looking at astrology books back in the 70s, that in actual fact it was far too complicated for me, and nobody in my environment where I was growing up could help me. You know, I didn't know anybody that was interested in astrology or taught it. I'm sure if I was clever enough and I'd got an education that took me to university, I might have been able to do that, but my parents weren't going to have that. You know, I wanted to be out there working as in, and to be happy and fulfilled, rather than you know, pursuing something where they would look at it as in, well, how are you going to get a job doing that? I'm not gifted as a writer or a journalist. It would have probably been right. And it looked very mathematical, and as much as I love astrology, didn't appeal to me. The right people weren't around me. But guess what? At this point in my life, I found the right teacher, I found the right group, I found the right people, students that I'm really happy with in my astrology group that I do on Wednesdays. I don't teach it, I'm a student and I love it. It's so nice to sit back and learn something I've always wanted to. But my point is, it can make you miserable doing something that you were drawn to, but it doesn't feel right. And so we can be at odds with ourselves, or we could feel, oh, so I should really look at chakras, you know, and I should be looking at spells, or this, or that, and the other. You know, we've heard it all. Whatever, not dissing any of it, but people are not sure, is this right for me? You know, I studied the I Ching. It was okay. But I can't see how I would actually help a client with the I Ching. Just didn't know how to. My teacher was showing me how it would help me. But you know, for one simple question, it seemed an awful palaver to actually do all of that, and that's my opinion. I don't diss it, I've still got books on it, but it wasn't for me, you know. Colour therapy, great. But somebody will come to you for a healing, and then there's no feedback, you know, you don't really talk to them. And Reiki, wonderful, but at the same time, it doesn't float my boat in the same way, and it also feels, I don't know, I just don't feel that the feedback from Reiki, because that person needs to relax, and then they need to go, and they need to get over that session. And yes, I'm trained in Reiki levels 1 and 2. I didn't go on to do 3 because it didn't float my boat. But I explored it. But sometimes people feel driven to keep going, so they'll come and they'll say, Am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? It's like, is it making you happy? Well, yes, carry on. If you got that. But if you saw that, it was a 10 of Wands or, sleepless nights, as in like the Nine of Swords, it'd be telling you something, wouldn't it? Or if you were seeing a lot of fives, that person is struggling. So, or Five of Cups, think of that one. Disappointments. So not everything's right for everyone. It's just a matter of who we are. And yeah, they are looking for a map of carry on going like this based on everything I'm doing. Am I doing the right thing? That's for them to decide. You don't say yes you are, no you're not. But you go right according to your cards, transformation, Nine of Cups. A lot of happiness there. And if I carry on with my Reiki, yeah, you're going through a transformation and emotional fulfillment. If you carry on doing Reiki, is it going to work for you? Oh yeah, it's going to bring contentment. We're all different, aren't we? You can't say, I don't like it, so you shouldn't like it. It doesn't work like that. It's so important that the cards are there and you're able to say, in your transformation, I can see contentment. I'm answering your question. Yeah? Or let's use that earlier question. I want to change career. And I want to, I don't want to do that stuffy banker's job. I want to be an artist. And you look at that for them and you get this power. In your transformation, you will find emotional contentment, which will lead to emotional fulfillment and, of course, happiness. So what great card Nine of Cups is. Just a few examples of what it can actually mean and some maybe questions. Don't think that's all the questions and that, what I'm telling you, that's all it is. Never, never, never. I'm sure I've not been asked everything that could possibly be asked in the Tower in the 30 odd years that I have been doing this. I'm sure not. In fact, it's longer than 30 years. I've just been a professional. That amount of time. Oh my goodness me. Too many to admit. So, thanks for your company, everybody. And if anybody is interested in going into what it looks like when I do a reading, it looks like that. And that's because that's how many cards I put out. And all those positions mean something. And hopefully you can see my spread. I'm using a pair all the time. You look on the left, it's a major arcana card and a minor arcana on the right. So, brings me to the end, and that means that I'll see you Thursday, and because we did the Nine of Cups, but you can guess which card we're doing next. Yeah, it's the beautiful 10 of Cups. And so there'll be a lot that I can give you on that tutorial at great depth. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we will keep that minor card and we'll keep looking at changing a major arcana card, which will tell us things. And if anybody's got some ideas or questions that they think people ask, or what if they ask this, or what if they ask that, or maybe you've got a question of your own, but I'm not giving you a reading. That's not what the point is. That's just not on it. I've done all that before, and what happens is it distracts from what we're doing. So maybe, for example, of a question that you once asked rather than something that's current at the moment. All right, so hope you have a beautiful Tuesday, and do take care of yourselves and each other. And yeah, I'll see you Thursday. Hope that you really have a wonderful couple of days through this summer season. It's sweltering where I am. I hope that everybody's still getting the benefit of the summer. So till next time, see you. Bye for now.